Good afternoon, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. This is my friend James, if you don't already know him. Now, on this channel, I document a lot of the stuff I do, right? But a lot of stuff I do overlaps into what my friends do. So for the last few months, we've done various bits of training together. We've just been in the pool together tonight, and James has led the lane the whole night, so thanks, James. However, you've been training this year up to an event which you recently did, and we haven't really had a full download about it, have we? So I thought we'd have a quick discussion just about how your race went, what went well, what didn't go well, and maybe some people might find it interesting. And if you kindly send me some pictures, I'll put them over the top whilst we're talking. So firstly, what was the event that you did?
It was the full brutal, so that's roughly a 9-distance triathlon in Llanberis in Wales.
Yeah, and in our circle of friends, that doesn't get much respect, does it? Because James Simpson's done the double and the triple. However, it is a pretty challenging event, isn't it? Just run us through the stats as to what the course is like.
Yeah, so the swim's fairly straightforward in the lake, and then the bike is a 29-mile, 4-lap course, which ends up with about 10,000 feet of elevation.
Goes over Penny Pass, doesn't it?
Yeah, over Penny Pass 4 times, yeah. And then the run is 3 off-road trail lake laps, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Lake lap sounds really quite pleasant, doesn't it? But it's quite difficult. And then it finishes with a run up and down snow.
Excellent. But you've had a real consistent year. You've trained really hard up to it. So the day rolled around. Did the swim go as straightforward as you thought it might do? Was it just a case of getting it done? I did see a clip of you walking back into the water mid-lap, so you clearly were keeping quite relaxed about it.
Well, yeah, I think with such a long event, expecting to take around 15-16 hours, there's no point rushing. The swim was great, really nice and warm, lovely morning. I had the usual, 200-300 metres in, bit of a panic, but set yourself down and just do your own thing, don't get carried away. And the swim went really well, actually, in the end. Lovely lake. So yeah, I enjoyed the swim.
Was it 112, 113, was it something like
that? I think it was a 111, which for me,
that's good.
Like us, is really good, I think, isn't it? Yeah, so
I think that's probably you could probably go a bit quicker, but like you've took it really relaxed, knowing what you've got coming up ahead of you, haven't you? 'Cause you're a good swimmer.
That was, it measured 4K, so I was quite happy that, the bit over distance and the speed, I was quite happy with that. Yeah, that's good.
And in the lead up to this event, we've been talking about things you might do with regard to kit and pacing and equipment and all that stuff. And I found myself like flapping a bit, even though I'm not doing the race, we were talking about tri-suit versus getting changed in your bike kit and stuff. And you were actually really relaxed. You were like, well, it's just getting changed in transition. I'm just going to put my bike stuff on. And I think that has really done you well there, because I think I'd have panicked about an event like that and got too wrapped up in all the detail and not actually done the thing. So,
well, that's my first time distance, so I didn't have a time to beat. I'm not turning up to these events to win, so I just want to be as comfortable as I can, really. I think a tri-suit's maybe something I'd look at in future, maybe for shorter events, but I basically just left it too late to really.
You'd used what you'd used to, weren't you?
Yeah.
So getting onto the bike then, it was a really hot day, wasn't it? How did that affect you? Did you pace it well? What was your nutrition like?
So at this point, I just threw the plan out the window, because I knew it was going to be a really hot day, and there was still quite a lot of cloud cover. So the first lap, I absolutely leathered it. And I think my first bike lap was the quickest lap of the whole event.
Perfect. That is the way to do it.
Including the people doing the half. So that's not really ideal. And then the sun came out, and the bike just got slower and slower. Basically, every lap got a little bit slower, a bit harder. The sun obviously brings tourists, so every lap just got busier, and it's really, really picturesque country lanes. But as soon as you get a car looking to park or a coach, you're as slow as they are. And I was trying not to get frustrated, and in the end I was just like, well, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy it. So I'd thoroughly recommend going and riding your bike there. Really lovely place, and I think all in all, I think I finished the bike half an hour quicker than I'd sort of got in my head. Yeah. So I was happy with it.
It's hard to have an expected time in your head, isn't it, right? Because you don't really know how fast it's going to be on the day, do you?
Well, I'd sort of added up in my head, if everything goes right, this is where I'd like to be. Yeah. And then I'd sort of, what I'd sort of stuck with plan-wise was if things go wrong a tiny bit at every stage plan. Because what I didn't want to do was to be thinking, right, I should be on the third lap of the bike now, and I'm 7 minutes behind. I need to go harder, because that's like the worst thing that you could do, isn't it? So, yeah, just try to enjoy it. I think when you start getting slowed down a bit.
Yeah. So you don't ride a power, do you?
I've got a power meter.
Okay.
But,
do you just use it on the day or not?
no, just sort of use it to say, this feels hard. Yeah. So it should do.
Do
you know what I mean?
10%
But no, I wouldn't ride to power or look at my stats and say, yeah, I was within 5% of what I wanted to be, or anything like that. I have no idea what my power zones are.
Okay. Yeah. So fueling and hydration, how did that go on the bike?
So with hindsight, I should have drank more. So my plan was to take one large bottle per lap, which would be absolutely fine normally. But basically, it just weren't. I was running out of water. The last 2 laps, I'd run out of water with about 5-6 miles to go. Of course, when you're running low, you start rationing, don't you? So that weren't ideal. I think I ate too much at the start of the bike, and coupled with the dehydration, then I couldn't eat, which, when we got onto the run, made life quite difficult for quite some time.
What sort of things you were fueling with on the bike? Are you still dragging out that full steam like a months ago?
Yeah, I got some of that a year or so out of date. Yeah, but I don't think powder goes out of date.
I don't think it's just sugar, surely.
So jelly beans in a top box thing. I've got 4 cobs, which I just had one each lap from the
what was on it?
aid station. Ham. Nice ham.
It's not going to work, is
Some
it?
sausage rolls, and then just carb mix.
Yeah.
So I think I overate, to be honest.
Okay. Did you know where you were position-wise on the road or anything? Were you thinking about that at all?
No, because there's so many different events happening at the same time. You're overtaking people, but you don't know if you're overtaking them or they're doing something else or what. So I had no idea. I thought I was about 20th, just based on my swim. But my son told me at the start of lap 4 that I was 6th, and I still don't know if I wanted to hear that or not.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, oh, that's better than I thought. Shall I push on? Or do you know what I mean? It's a funny one. Isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. How were the support team doing? So you had the Simpsons, you had your family as well. Anybody else?
Yeah, I had some. Yeah, all my family. So my wife, Emily, 3 kids. James was there supporting me and Kate, who did the marathon. And then I had a couple of friends came as well and camped out and cheered along and that, which was really nice.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Massive difference, yeah. Especially when you're thinking of throwing the towel in,
Oh, these people are really annoying, aren't they? Okay. So off the bike then onto the run. You've got 3 lake laps to do before you got snowed. How did the run go?
The first run lap was kind of okay. I'd said to myself I'm going to go really nice and steady.
Yeah.
And then there's quite a long steep hill. It's about a mile long in total. And I just set off walking that, felt fine, and I was catching people on that. Thought, this is
you're
the
walking
way
at
to
a
do
good
it.
pace.
Walking quicker than a steady run uphill.
Simpson talks about that a lot, doesn't he? About walking when you want to rather than you have to, and you can actually still make good progress.
Walk with purpose.
I hate it when he's right about that stuff.
It is annoying, isn't it? But then on the downhills, I was then losing those positions because I'd just not trained to run downhill, and I weren't prepared to do that. So that was fine. But then by the second run lap, I was really bad, tight stomach cramps and in quite a lot of pain. So that was slowing me down. And it's at that point in the day really questioning what you're doing, why. Yeah. So I have no idea what time I lost. I think the time-wise, the laps were still okay. Yeah. But I was in a lot of pain.
So on the event, you can have some support at different points. Did you have anybody running with you on the late laps or not?
No, and I think that would have made a difference. Yeah. But just because the lap's 5 miles long and it's quite hard running, it's not something that I could take my son with me or one of my mates who's not a runner. Do you know what I mean? If it was like the Decker, it's a mile. Most people can do a mile. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Ash did 10 one day, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, I didn't have anyone with me. That would have made a difference, I think.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Save Simpson for Snowdon.
Yeah.
Okay, so you progress on to the lap 3, then up and down Snowdon. Then you were told vaguely what position you were. I know it's not your main aim, but like, was that a thought? Now it's coming close to the end of the race, or?
So before you go up Snowdon, you need to be cleared by the medic.
Okay.
And the medic told me you're in 5th.
Yeah.
10 minutes behind 4th.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's absolutely perfect. Don't need to chase.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to 3rd,
Yeah.
are you? Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you're probably not going to lose a top 10.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is absolutely fantastic.
And the medic said you're okay, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Just about. So yeah, that turned out to be misinformation, which is a shame. But at the time, I was just desperate for. I was so thirsty, but when I had a drink, I felt sick.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to the top of Snowdon, I'd come round. I drank loads of water on the way up. But yeah, it was quite hard. And as it turns out, we passed the guy in 3rd on the way up. So I was at the top in 3rd place. But again, the descent, I just weren't prepared to fell run
It's a
down.
whole new skill, isn't it?
Oh, massively, yeah.
When I fall over you, just running down the canal. So.
Well, yeah. So, but all in all, that it's fine.
Yeah. Awesome. So what were your splits? 1, 11 on the swim. What was the bike?
I don't know.
Okay. Run.
I don't know.
And you were overall?
Just under 14 hours.
Awesome.
So I was really happy with that.
Yeah, and it's a solid day out.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid day out. And finished 4th overall.
4th overall, yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So if anybody's watching this, either doing the brutal events that are in Llanberis, there's the half, there's the full, there's the double, there's the triple, there's the marathons, there's duathlons, there's all sorts that weekend, isn't there? Mm-hmm. Are there any tips that you'd share with people for either the course or preparation or something you wish you'd known for the weekends?
Well, I must say I knew the course because I had been, and I'd done laps with James, and I've done some run laps with James, and I've been up and down Snowdon before as well. What I would say is, it sounds silly, but going up Snowdon 12 hours in is different to running up a hill one Saturday morning. So I suppose my advice would be, don't shy away from hill work. And one thing I'm going to do for next year is train tired.
Yeah.
So rather than get up, 5 o'clock Saturday morning and go for a run and think, oh great, I've done 20 miles. I'll run after 9 o'clock at night when I've been busy all day. And do it that way around because it's more reflective of what you're going to be actually doing.
It'll go down well as well, that won't it?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So that was my final question. Following this event, you've had a bit of recovery, but then you've come straight back into it. If I'm honest, I thought, because you hadn't talked about next year at all, I thought you might have a big break or maybe not do it again, because you went through a phase of triathlon a couple of years ago, then didn't do it for a while. What's in the plans for next year?
Well, I wouldn't say I've thrown myself straight back into it. I've only swam, so it's 2 weeks since the event. All I've done is swim.
Maybe that's the bike last week.
No, one bike ride, and then I won't be doing anything.
Yeah, because we both got dropped on First Friday.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into some winter training, especially running when the weather's a bit poor. And then I've signed up to do the double next year. So we'll see how we get on with that.
Fair play to you. Awesome. Look forward to it. Blimey, you heard it here first. James Saxby takes on the double.
Yeah.
Good to see you, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate this. I know it's gone 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. You probably want to get home, but appreciate you doing this and hope some people have enjoyed it. Let James know down below how well he's done, because he's genuinely smashed it out of the park, and hopefully I'll be able to come along to the double next year.
Yeah,
just don't take too long doing it with you. Well done, James.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.